Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is Steve, your host, and I am joined via Skype this week by
BC.
All right, BC is Skyping it tonight, and our keyboard player this evening live with me is
Dylan.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another wild adventure here on our little podcast we got going here, and hope everybody's doing good out there. I know all the the COVID crap and the numbers are up and everything like that. I hope everybody's staying safe and doing what they need to do to stay safe. With all that being said, we got that out of the way real quick. I want to thank our buddy Zeus for coming on last week with us. We did part 2 of the hair metal, in quotations, hair metal albums. We had an awesome time with Zeus. It's always good when we have those guys on. And it's funny, too, because if you want to hear some of the albums that we picked get shit on by someone, check out Sonny and Steven's episode that they put out this last week. They did a platinum crap, I think they called it. So it's interesting. So absolutely check their episode out too. It's funny. I was like texting them when I was listening to it, like, what the fuck? But it was good. It's funny how it actually worked out like that. Like within 2 weeks, like within actually a couple days, those 2 episodes came out, and it's amazing the different takes that people have on albums. That's just crazy. And we did the Kiss Perfect album episode a couple weeks ago. Between when we recorded last and tonight, we got some feedback, so I wanted to read. A couple guys gave us what their Kiss album would be. So let me just pull this up real quick here. Our first one was we got one from Aaron Martell, our buddy from the R4 podcast. He said, okay, he said, great episode, fellas, I'll play. So his album would be called Thunder in the Night, and his side 1 would be Heaven's on Fire, Exciter, War Machine, Keep Me Coming, Not for the Innocent. Side 2 would have been Lick It Up, Creatures of the Night, Million to One, CBB, Million to One, Saint and Sinner, and I've Had Enough, Into the Fire, and his bonus track would be All Hell's Breaking Loose. So that was good. That was a good run up there. That was good. Good job. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. And our buddy Jeff Goss, which... BC, I don't even know if I told you this. I received a package in the mail the other day, and I saw it was from New York, and it was from our faithful listener, Jeff Gauss. He sent us each a CD that he burned for us, and mine was Styx, BC's was Van Halen, Dylan's was David Bowie, and BB's was Aerosmith. So I forgot to... I think mention that to you, and I forgot to actually give you your CD. I saw you today, but we didn't really have the venue to talk today. So they're very cool. So Jeff, thank you very much.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. That was a very nice gesture.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. So I'll take care of him for sure. We appreciate it, Jeff. And Jeff also gave us an album. He said, using the BB template for my album, Creatures of the Night, Killers, Heaven's on Fire, I Love It Loud, While the City Sleeps, I Still Love You, I've Had Enough, Into the Fire, Not for the Innocent, Nowhere to Run, Young and Wasted, Give Me More. I don't think many people pick Give Me More, if anybody, I think, on our episode. War Machine, and titled Into the Fire. Thanks for another killer episode. Thank you for coming on, and giving us stuff and, participating with us. We really appreciate it. And Brad Rustoven, host of the Slamfest podcast. So if you guys haven't checked him out, give that a check out. It's very cool. He goes about... talks about concerts he went to. He does set lists and stage props, and he actually even does some playlists that him and his buddies listen to before these shows. It's a really cool podcast. He's just kind of starting out, so give him a check out. It's the Slamfest podcast, really good podcast. And he messaged us, great entertaining episode, guys. I love the lists. Here's mine. Side 1, Creatures of the Night, Not for the Innocent, Lick It Up, Rock and Roll Hell, Down on Your Knees, and On the Eighth Day. Side 2, I've Had Enough, Into the Fire, Heaven's on Fire, I Love It Loud, I Still Love You, While the City Sleeps, and All Hell's Breaking Loose. And he put there R.E. All Hell's Breaking Loose and the Too Young to Fall in Love videos, I believe, were directed by the same guy. I remember reading that somewhere. And All Hell's Breaking Loose came out first. So Crew copied off of Kiss. Imagine that. Tommy Lee called Nikki after seeing the video and said they needed to work with that director. No idea if that's true or not. I don't either, but it sounds plausible for sure because, I mean, they, even up to then, they, mentioned Kiss as a major influence for them. What do you think, BC?
That's the first time hearing that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it was great that those guys sent those lists in. It's really cool when we get the participation like that.
I'm sorry.
I was kind of talking about both.
Oh, no, that's very cool that they brought this. It's cool to hear other people's opinions and some different songs, too. I mean, there's 2 songs there. I'm like, ooh, I never thought about it.
Yeah, like, I don't think anybody picked Gimme More. I was like, ooh, okay, that was one. And that's a good one, too. What do you think, Dill?
I think I've Had Enough is still like the most picked song, thanks to even with the listeners. So that's pretty cool to see the similarities and the differences of what people pick. For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so guys, we appreciate you guys interacting with us, giving us your picks and everything. And once again, Jeff, thank you for I'll call it the little Christmas care package that you sent us of the CDs. It was really thoughtful, and we really appreciate your you sending them and your thoughtfulness and interacting with us on the podcast, definitely. All right, so before we get rocking into it, what are we listening to? Dylan, what do you got going this week?
I haven't really had too much time to listen to much. It's kind of the busy season for me at work. But I listened to a little bit of Dream Theater's new live album, Distant Memories Live in London. Some cool stuff. They have songs from Distant Over Time on there. They play Nightmare to Remember from Black Cloud and Silver Linings, which is really cool. They do in its entirety Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from a Memory in the second disc. It's a second and third disc. It's a 3-disc set. So pretty cool live album.
How long is it all together?
Oh, altogether it is 2 hours 30 minutes. So not as bad.
I was gonna say that's not as long as I thought it would be.
I mean, you got a full album and then another couple songs. So it's not too bad. I haven't listened to all of it yet, but what I've heard is pretty good.
All right, that's cool. How about you, BC? What do you got going?
It's funny. Dylan mentions Dream Theater. I was actually listening to Images and Words there. They brought me back. That was the first Dream Theater album that I listened to, and it still stands the test of time in my book. I love it. So I've been listening to that and a lot of Amazon Shuffle music there.
All right, excellent. All right, yeah, and what I've been listening to, I've been checking out the new Volbeat album. It's a live one, Rewind, Replay, Rebound, live in Deutschland. Really good, and it has a lot of stuff from the new album on there, and it has the one song, Cheapside Sloggers, on there. On the album, Gary Holt plays the solo, which is fantastic, and they just tear it up. I think they're just a fantastic band. Really love them. And I've been checking out the new live Iron Maiden, Night of the Dead live in Mexico City. And BC, I was telling Dylan this before, and I didn't notice until like the other night. I finally got mine. Mine finally came in the mail, like 3 weeks after the fucking thing came out. For this live album and the last live album, they have not had Kevin Shirley as the producer on these albums. It's been a guy called Tony Newton, and I think he's one of the guys that's been with the band forever. But I was surprised to see that, and I was like, wow, like it was weird not seeing Kevin Shirley on an album, because even the other live albums besides, and I thought he was on Book of Souls too, but he wasn't. But it was just weird to see a different producer with Iron Maiden even on a live album, because it's been Kevin Shirley since Brave New World. So it's just kind of weird. What do you think, B?
Mm-hmm. I really did not. I scoped out a little bit online. I did not delve into I want to open up of course, I'm a weirdo and look at every lyrics and every sheet and credits and everything, but I did not get to that yet.
Yeah, and let me tell you, you guys out there, if you want to see an awesome package that a band puts together, get the new Iron Maiden. Either they have a fantastic triple vinyl version, and they have last time when they did the Book of Souls and the Book of Souls live chapter, they put out like the book type of CD, and just absolutely fantastic. The graphics are great, and on the vinyl, it has like the sleeves for the records. There's so much information on there. It has the sketches of the stages and the backdrops and what goes on in the show and how the show does, like it goes through a war phase and a religion phase, and then just like a hell phase at the end. It's very, very cool, like how it was, and it kind of says how they set up the tour and everything. Very interesting, and of course, I expect nothing better from Iron Maiden than that, and they've always come through for the fans to put out good packages.
Yeah, I still need to listen to it, but it's pretty cool that they change it up every now and then. Make it interesting for everybody.
Yeah, they do for sure. So, all right, so that's what we're
They
listening.
don't disappoint.
What's that?
They don't disappoint, he said.
They don't disappoint.
No, they don't. And I apologize out there, guys. Tonight it's a little tough. We're not used to Skyping with BC because we're usually live, but we were unable to do that tonight and make it work. So, but yeah. So what we're listening to, I got new Volbeat live and Iron Maiden live. BC's got some shuffle play going on Amazon Music and Amazon or Apple Music, whatever one he's using. And Dream Theater Images and Words, and Dylan's got the new Dream Theater Live Distant Memories live from London. So check that out. I'll tell you what, this year, I mean, we're going to do our year-ending episode coming up in a couple weeks, but I'm astounded at the amount of live albums that came out this year. There's a shitload of them, and we'll definitely talk about some of the better ones that came out this year when we do our year end. So, look forward to that. We got a really cool episode coming up for that. All right, so this week, as you guys see by the title, we decided to do something a little different. We didn't want to talk about albums or songs, so what we wanted to do, we've done this before, kind of. We set up our own Potter Than Hell Fest, so what we did was we figured we were going to be a promoter for a festival, and how would we put it forth, and what would we have on it, and it was a lot of fun doing that. Remember we did that, BC?
Yes.
Man, a few words right there.
He had the free beer going in his backyard, and Lizzie Borden was headlining, and it was a wild
free
show
beer.
that would have never made money.
We're
Free
in
beer.
free beer he had going. Yeah, we're in it for the music, right, BC?
Exactly. We don't care about one.
Absolutely.
My crews, you understand why.
Definitely. All right, so what we're going to do this week, we're going to build our own rock cruise. And BC and myself were on the Monsters of Rock cruise last year, so BC's got a feel for how these things kind of work. Dylan, probably from listening to us talk about it all the time, and I've got the Monsters of Rock cruise and 3 Kiss cruises under my belt, so I don't know how in depth these guys went. I got a whole thing going here, so I'm not really sure what these guys did. So Dylan's gonna go first. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, well, speaking of Iron Maiden that you were listening to, I was trying to think of bands that would have a really good pun name for a cruise. Motley Cruise was one that came to mind, but I didn't really want to do a whole cruise around. Tommy wouldn't be able to do the drum coaster. You wouldn't be able to get that whole thing. So I decided to go with a cruise that I'm calling the Maiden Voyage, featuring the band Iron Maiden. Now, I didn't go too in depth with set lists or anything like that, but I do have the bands that are going to appear. So Iron Maiden, of course, and I'll get into what specifically they do playing wise later on. And then I figured I would pick bands that have toured with them in the past that have similar styles of music, like Coheed and Cambria, Trivium, and then I figured I would pick bands that are related to Maiden. So you got the Raven Age, of course, Steve Harris's son's band. British Lions, Steve Harris's solo stuff. The Iron Maidens, the all-female tribute group to Iron Maiden. Bruce Dickinson's solo band reuniting to play a show. And then the two screwballs in the lineup. You have Paul Di'Anno with his band, and you have Blaze Bayley with his band. So it's an all-Maiden extravaganza of bands playing. Before I get into what Maiden does with their set list and stuff like that, I want to go through some of the little itinerary stuff that you could do on this cruise. So I was trying to think of things that would pertain to the band members. I only knew a couple of their hobbies, so I went with those. Mini golf tournament on the cruise featuring Nico. where everybody plays.
Dave
around.
Murray could join him too. He golfs with him all the time
Dave
too.
Murray as well. Anybody is welcome to attend. Paper airplane contest with Bruce.
Hey, I'm going to
Fly
ask.
them out.
I know Bruce always flies the plane for the tours. Is he going to be steering the ship as well?
No, he's taking a break from voyaging. He has a solo set he has to do. He has the maiden sets he has to do. He doesn't have time to be piloting the boat. A maiden beer fest. So all the different maiden beers on tap to try and taste out. And they're going to debut a couple of new flavors. A cider, maybe they might debut. That like a little kind of Oktoberfest on the boat. That would be really fun. Karaoke night hosted by the 3 maiden singers. They don't necessarily have to perform, but they're the kind of MCs of the event, just to make it interesting. Metal Jeopardy with the 3 guitarists of Iron Maiden going up against each other to prove who's the best.
Oh, that'd be cool.
The band. And then I have an Eddie cosplay contest, so everybody come dress as their favorite Eddie from any of the singles, any of the album covers, and have that costume contest judged by the band. And then like an Ed Hunter video game competition, see who gets the high score. And also there was that one video game that was like a browser game for the what's the album that the Wild Wind Blows is on?
Final Frontier.
Final Frontier. There was a game based on that, so that could also be a part of it as well. So Maiden's gonna do 3 shows during this voyage because it's only fair to perform on their cruise as much as they can, as well as doing meet and greets, and they're gonna do the full package. They're not gonna They're not gonna rip their fans off. So 2 of the shows are gonna be full albums front to back. Number of the Beast they're gonna do front to back, and they're gonna do Peace of Mind front to back. And then the third set is going to be a fan-voted set. So the fans are going to get to vote for their favorite Maiden songs. People that are on the cruise get to vote throughout the night, not the night, but throughout the cruise to see which ones are going to be in the set. However, there are going to be some choices for Paul Di'Anno and Blaze Bayley era Maiden. And during those sets, they're going to come on up and sing.
All right.
as a nice little token of goodwill and faith to the band. So it's going to be a real jam-packed session. It's going to be going to the Caribbean, nice get some sun and surf. But that's going to be the maiden voyage of the maiden voyage.
That's cool. What do you think, BC?
I like it. I'm on board.
Literally.
Yeah, I would definitely go to that. It's cool. I like that you can get Blaze and Paul Di'Anno to come to sing some of their songs. That's cool. One thing I would suggest for the fans picking the songs, like they should exclude the shit that they play all the time.
Yeah, well, and that's why I wanted to do Peace of Mind and Number of the Beast, because those 2 albums have Run to the Hills, Held Be Thy Name, The Trooper, all the songs that they play over and over again. So they get those out of the way. They add their other stuff from all the other albums that haven't seen the light of day in a while, or things like that, and they let the fans choose their set.
All right, cool. Anything else on that one, BC?
No, I mean, I like the different things going on with the band members.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
That's cool. And one thing I think would be cool on that as well, with Nico and Dave Murray being big golfers, hold a lottery that when you get to one of the islands, you could have 6 fans win a golf round. So you could have 3 people golf with Nico and 3 people golf with Dave Murray.
Well, that's what the tournament's for. That the tournament is the golf tournament. You win a chance to be on their crew.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and that was one of the things I always thought that on the Kiss cruise that they kind of missed an opportunity where they could have had, like my main thing is, and I've said it when we did the Kiss Cruise episodes, that they could have did a lottery. Say you do a charity lottery, do an auction. Say, okay, you get to be the guy that comes up on stage and does, you wanted the best, you got the best, or introduce the band. That would be, people spend a lot, like insane amounts of money on these Kiss cruises, on any of these cruises.
Yeah,
and trust me, with the amount of insane fans, and I don't mean that in a bad way, on the Kiss cruise, if they did something like that for charity, they would be getting a good freaking chunk of change for some charity if they did like an auction like that, because they play 3 shows on the ship, so you can have 3 different winners. I mean, I could see someone paying $10,000 to do that, because actually in the other night, I was watching the Kiss auctions online, and there was an 8x10 signed Hot in the Shade promo picture signed by all the bands, Eric Carr included. Of course, it was Gene, Paul, Eric, and Bruce Kulick, and it went for $905 for an 8x10 picture.
Wow.
So if someone's going to pay almost $1,000 for an 8x10 picture, what do you think someone's going to fucking bid to pay to introduce the band?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be awesome. And I think if Maiden did something like that, I think that, just look at the tours they put on. Just look at the the package of the albums that they put out. I think that they would really do their fans justice doing an Iron Maiden cruise. But the thing is, the Iron Maiden cruise, I think, would totally eclipse what the Kiss cruise has. Like, even fan-wise, they would have to do more than one a year, because these guys are internet. I mean, when I say international, they are. I mean, look at these shows that they do. Like Mexico City, they sold out 3 nights there.
Are you saying
like,
the Kiss Army is an international?
They're international, but like, look at what Maiden has done in the last couple of years. Like, Kiss isn't selling out many shows. I mean, they're getting great crowds. They are, and I'm not saying anything bad about Kiss fans or Kiss, but like Maiden, just popularity wise, has eclipsed them, I think. And I think that, I mean, imagine how hard it would be to get tickets for an Iron Maiden cruise. It would be insane. It'd be, like how shitty it is to get tickets for just the freaking show now, let alone on a ship with 3,000 people. I mean, you would almost have to have a goddamn lottery to get tickets for that.
And like having that intimate of a show for Iron Maiden too would be such a different experience.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they would probably still be able to do some of what they do on stage. Like if they do on the deck, the actual deck, like they would have that space, but like they would have to pare it down. So it'd be interesting to see how the band works with that.
Yeah, and there would be absolutely no pyro, because
we don't. What?
There's no, there's nowhere to go out there. So
they're gonna shoot water instead.
Yeah, I'm surprised that there's even smoking on these ships. But great one, Dylan. I think that was cool. You got anything else out of BC before we move on?
No, I just liked it, how it's all Maiden and offspring of Maiden. That would be. I'm all for something like that.
All right, good job, Dylan.
Now we can get it out to Bruce Dickerson and those guys and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm
feel
sure they
like,
listen.
So I feel like some of it is doable, and other parts of that are definitely not doable. Like the Paul Di'Anno and Blaze Bayley stuff might not be doable. Bruce's solo band, maybe. He might be up for that.
Bruce solo band, I can see.
I mean, he already has Adrian, and Yannick played with him at one point. But if you get like Roy Z, I'm sure he's still friends with Roy Z. And
right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You just get another bassist and a drummer. You don't need. Nobody remembers who the bassist and drummer are.
And also too, you could have, when you stop at one of the ports, you could do a deep sea fishing thing with Adrian Smith.
Yeah, there you go.
Because he just put out his book.
book.
I can see it right where I'm sitting here. Is what's it called now?
The Monsters of River and Rock. Monsters of River and Rock.
Right. So if you're interested in Iron Maiden and even more over fishing, pick up that book. I'm about halfway through it. It's cool. There's a lot of fishing stuff in there, and it's funny too because like he names all these fish that he's catching. Then I'm like, I have no idea what these fucking fish look like, but there's pictures in the book, and you can see what these fish look like. So all right,
naked fish.
Yeah. All right, very cool. Good job, Dylan. All right, BC, what kind of cruise you got going here?
I got a non-alcoholic cruise.
Oh wow.
Yeah, okay. That's just a rowboat in the middle of the fucking lake.
Cruise.
No, like I said, that was my first cruise period, and first like time any of this stuff. So I was overwhelmed when we did our cruise this year. But I mean, to me it was like overwhelming. I think to a certain point, like size wise and everything. So my cruise would be like scaled down, like smaller ship. All the bands are gonna play once. They're gonna play way longer sets than an hour or whatever. So that's right off the get go. I would depart on Sunday. We'd be the depart day. It's much more laid back. The ship departs at 5. The first band does not come on until 7. Get everybody on the ship. You're not running around. You're not. I think like we got on the ship and like things started happening. So this cruise would not have that. It would just be more laid back. And the house band, I guess you would say, or ship band, for the whole cruise is going to be Denman.
Denman,
They're
all
going
right.
to open every day. Every day they're going to open up the days. Entertainment.
You may hear about them again tonight.
You may hear about them, yes, hopefully, right? I would have them open every night. So they're going to open up. There's only the top stage. The ship is much smaller, maybe 1,000 people, not craziness, more intimate, more. You know what I mean? Not
Like a nightclub on water.
nightclub on water, and everybody plays longer sets, and they only play once on the whole ship. So the first night is Denman opens it up, of course, and they perform for an hour. They're the only band that does an hour, but they're playing every day. And then the second band of the depart night will be Kick Axe from Canada. Because I would love to see them, and they do play, so it's possible. And and only 3 bands the first night. So the next band up, which would be not announced until they come on, would be Sabotage.
All right.
And that's very possible too.
Yep.
They will play 10 to midnight. After that, there's an after party with all the bands. And a huge club atmosphere down below. That goes till whenever. Oh yeah, and my ship, you pay $1,200 a person, but that's food, free booze, everything. You don't pay for anything. All the after parties and everything's included. So then we go to Monday. Of course, when you're probably hungover for the Sunday night before. So again, it's gonna be early afternoon start with the band dimming. Again, there's stuff going on during the day that if you don't want to see a certain band, you can go down below and like almost like a flea market type of memorabilia from all these bands. And I almost forgot the name of the cruise is back to the day.
Back to the day.
Cruise. Back to the day, and all the bands are pretty much start off in the 80s.
I like
So
that.
Devin starts off the day. Then my next band would be Babylon AD. And pretty much every band is doing anywhere from an hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes. Except for Dimmin, but they play every day. Third band that'd be Keel. And I forgot to leave out, most of these bands, the deal is original liners. So Keel's got the original bass player back, Kenny Chase.
If they're still alive.
He's alive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, definitely. I kept that in mind. After that, Junkyard, another great band that we seen at M3 a few years. I think they will go over good. After Junkyard, the Rots. You have to have the Rots in there because you can't have a rock and roll party without the Rots. After the Rots, XYZ, Sleazebees. After that, the evening's getting later, so we're going to kick into some Doro. And then I have the Warren, of course, not with Janie Lane, but the deal with Warren is no bounce.
Thank you.
They just got to come out and rip it up. And then to close out Monday night, Night Ranger. They were, I think they were on a cruise one day. I'm not sure which one it was.
Yeah,
I believe they were on one.
Yeah, they've cruised a couple times, I think.
They cruised a few times, but I mean, to me, they're just classic. And of course, every night there's an after party with all the bands. You don't have to stand in line and just mingle with everybody. Laid back atmosphere. Much smaller ship, smaller crowd, more intimate. Tuesday we'll start off with Denman again. Then we're going to bring out the Canadian monster Elder Nova. And then I had to throw in something for myself, Dream Theater. And then the surprise of the cruise would be the reunited original lineup of Queensrÿche, which might not be possible, but in my mind, they're all alive.
They're still alive.
It's possible. They're still alive. After them would be Bonfire, which a band I would love to catch. And since I'm treating myself on Tuesday, I'm going to do a 2 for Tuesday, treat myself, and then the next band would be, of course, Lizzie Borden.
No way.
After Lizzie Borden, we're going to have the Armored Saint Boys. And the Tuesday night treat is a 2-hour set of Saxon.
2-hour set of who?
Saxon.
Saxon. Okay.
Wednesday, I'm giving the Dimmin Boys a day off. The opening band of the day is going to be Black and Blue, followed by Ugly Kid Joe. And the shocker of the whole fucking cruise is the original lineup of the Skid Row back together for one show only on the cruise.
We don't need them.
They will all kill each other by the end of the cruise. I don't think they'll make it that far.
Yeah, why didn't you have them play the first night so that they could?
That is true. I never thought about the big picture there. After Skid Row, the Killer Dwarfs. And then, to be a band that does not get enough respect, Jackal would play. After Jackal, Y&T. And then another treat for BC would be, and I would have to behave this day, would be Wasp. And after Wasp, the last closing of the night would be Accept.
Blackie would never allow that.
He has to sign a contract. He has to allow it. So Thursday night, day night is the last of the cruise. Opens up with the Boys in Deadman again. And we're going to have some more hair metal, glam metal with the Pretty Boy Floyd. After that goes for Tora Tora. And then we're going to go to up north, Canadian Boys Helix. I'd love to see them. And Roxanne, my favorite.
Track 5.
After them would be Lillian X. And then Striper. And then to close out the whole shabam, Pretty Mates.
Yes, thank you.
Then just like I said, everybody's chilling to everybody, laid back. It's hard for me to explain my vision, but much more laid back and just one big house party on the ocean.
Very cool. What do you think, though?
And
Oh, you got more?
no. That was they closed out Thursday night.
Oh, okay.
And then we're back in shore on Friday.
Well, for a cruise called Back to the Day, you have the very first band playing it is a modern band.
They're the house band.
But they have the feel, though.
They do have the
They
feel.
have the
They do
feel,
have the feel. Yeah, it's a really eclectic lineup. You have a lot of surprise reunions, which I'm sure that.
Well, if anything happens during this trip, at least it's in international water. So,
Yeah, you're gonna need a huge,
fucking
the water marshals.
fucking Jeff Tate and fucking Sebastian Bach will be in the brig.
They sequester the lead
The
vocalist
only one
off
that'd be a
on
rough
the other
one,
side
I
of
think,
the
would be
ship.
Skid Row.
Yeah.
So they're like, why is there this line in the middle of the ship? Oh, we have to separate the band from the singers.
Yeah. Well, I think Queensrÿche would be a tough sell too. I don't think they're. I think you'll see them play again, but I don't think anytime soon. But go ahead, Dylan. What you got anything else?
Yeah, it's it was a really good cruise. A lot of great bands that I have seen and have not seen. So a really nice hodgepodge of classic bands that I think people are going to enjoy if this cruise was real.
All right. Hey, I gotta say, BC, number one, if this was an actual cruise, Sonny Pooney would not be on it with us, for sure.
Why? I got Y&T.
It's got Y&T, but well, he would probably go, but he would be he'd be in the casino during like Saxon and Accept and all the good metal bands. But I like it, and actually, you're gonna hear some of the bands that BC talked about perhaps on my cruise. I think it's cool, and I like the laid back factor of it, and I could even after going on the Kiss cruise, the Monsters of Rock cruise was like so much more like scale wise, because I think there were maybe 10 or 11 bands at the most on any given Kiss cruise, and there were, I think, 54 last year when we went. So you're absolutely going to miss someone. You can't see everybody.
You have to. You have to miss someone.
Yeah.
You have to miss multiple people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know if we may have seen half of the bands or just under half, because I don't think I even hit half the bands. But
no,
there were ones that I was like, never going to see these guys again. I'm seeing them both times. But I like it. I like the you got like the Babylon AD, Junkyard, stuff like that. Night Ranger, you can't miss with them. Sabotage would be freaking fantastic to see. And I would be more excited to see Queensryche with Christy Garmo back.
Yes.
That would be fantastic. I think he's like the Adrian Smith of Queensryche. They need him. I think he's the thing. Like, if he came back to Queensryche, I think, and nothing against Parker Lindgren at all, but I think if he came back, I think you would see Jeff Tate follow soon behind, kind of like reverse of what Bruce and Adrian for Iron Maiden. But enjoyable, definitely. I would go on that cruise for sure. Absolutely. All right, so there's Dylan's cruise. Dylan's got the Maiden Voyage. And what was yours called again, BC?
Back to the day.
Back to the day.
Let me write that
To
down.
the day.
Back to the day.
All right, so what we're going to do now is, before we get into mine, we're going to do a quick gem song. We'll do our hidden gems, and then I'll do mine, and we'll wrap up. So for our gem song this week, I'm going to do a song from the band that we absolutely loved from last year's Monsters of Rock cruise. This band totally fucking kicked ass. I'm going to do a song from Heat, from their album from this year, Heat 2. And the song is going to be Come Clean. So play it away, Dylan.
We finished the pages. We swore to never write. Went through the stages and left it all behind. My wicked dreams, they never seem to get in line with what we've ended. We're still pretending. We both moved on and on to others, on and on. But I'll come clean. I never stop thinking about you, girl.
All right, hope you guys enjoyed Come Clean by Heat. If you haven't checked out their new album, Heat 2, check it out. Definitely a kick-ass album, and you may hear about that album again in a couple weeks coming up. So we're going to do our hidden gems now, and I'm going to go first this week. So since we didn't do the gems last week, right? Last week we skipped them?
Yeah, we skipped them last week.
Okay. So I'm going to pick... this album came out in 2014. It's by the guitar player named Joe Holmes. He was in Ozzy's band. I think he may have played on one studio track with Ozzy, but he was one of the replacements for Zakk Wylde on the I think Down to Earth tour. I think it was he played. And the band and album is called Pharmakos. It came out in 2014. Joe Holmes plays guitars. Robert Trejo from Metallica plays bass on it. And one of the drummers on there is our buddy Brooks Wackerman, BC.
Brooks.
Yeah. So it's a really good... I'll tell you what, this album is heavy as heavy could be. It is really cool. It's got a... I don't know if you want to call it an industrial tinge to it, but it's really got a crisp sound to it. There's some kick-ass songs on here. One called Scapegoat, Ascension, I Was Them, Exit Stencils, Fragile is really good. So definitely check that out. I'm not sure. I don't think it's on any streaming, so you would probably have to either look it up on YouTube or I'm sure you could probably get the CD maybe on eBay or something like that. But it's a really cool album, and it's called Pharmakos. All right, Dylan, what do you got?
My hidden gem is the recent album from an awesome supergroup. The band's called Kill or Be Killed, and the members, there's 3 vocalists. The members are Greg Puciato from the Dillinger Escape Plan, great band that's no longer a thing. He was also in Soulfly.
Okay.
Max Cavalera from Sepultura. He was also in the Cavalera Conspiracy.
And Soulfly.
Troy Sanders from Mastodon, a band we talked about a couple episodes ago. And Ben Collar from the band Converge. Their latest album is called Reluctant Hero, and it is going to make my end of the year list, I think. It's really, really good. The 3 vocalists each add something different, and it elevates the music. It's almost like hearing 3 different guitarists, much like Maiden, but instead it's 3 vocalists. They each have their areas of expertise that really get showcased well on this album. It's a heavy album, too. Really good.
Yeah. Have you got a chance to check that out, BC? Have you heard of it?
No, I have not.
Okay. I actually told Dylan about this album, but he had already been checking it out. And I remember I was driving somewhere, and I had XM radio on, and of course, at the same time on the Boneyard and fucking Hair Nation, there were shitty songs on both of them. So I flipped over to Liquid Metal, and I hear this, and I'm like, wow, and it came out, Kill or Be Killed, and I forget the name of this. It's that one with the real long title, Dylan.
Deconstructing Self-Destruction?
Yes. And I was like, wow, what the hell is this? And it was freaking fantastic. So I checked the album out, and it's not to be silly, but it's killer. It is. It's a great. I don't know. It's probably you'd call it thrash, right?
Yeah, it's pretty thrashy.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I mean, heavy as fuck. Very cool. A lot of cool time changes. Really, really heavy. So great pick, Dylan. So very cool.
Thank you.
All right, BC, what do you got?
Since I was preparing for the cruise, took me back in the day, and I didn't want to mention what we were listening to, since I was going to use it as my gym. I went back to 1994 with what is considered hair metal, which is not, with Dangerous Toys with Pissed. I mean, Dangerous Toys is known for one song only, which is a shame, because these guys are really underrated band from Texas, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But this album came out late, like this, in 1994, and I think they took a little harder edge on this one. But you talk about this, and you mentioned this album. I mean, not counting you, because you know it.
Yep.
But you talk to certain people, and they didn't know this album even came out. And I have the reissued vinyl version in my hand. Like just great songs like Pissed, The Law Is Mine, Promise the Moon, Hard Luck Champion, Oh Well, So What. I believe it's a cover song, but I could be wrong. But it's such a cranking, heavier Dangerous Toys. It's just unfortunate that they're just known for a sport in the Woody. Not that that's a bad thing.
Yeah, and that's pink vinyl, isn't it?
Orange.
Orange. Okay, I knew it was a different color,
It's like
but it's
orange
odd.
with, like some kind of like splatter design, like purple, yellowish type splatter in it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, and it's weird that they do get mentioned in hair metal. Like they're very, very far throw from hair metal. And
Hair metal, yeah.
Yeah, and we got to see them live, right? They played with Tora and LA Guns down in Wilkes-Barre.
Back in the day.
Yeah, and they were freaking fantastic. And did you see them when they played at the station down there?
I did not.
Oh, that was a freaking
I
great
just
show.
caught them with Oicon.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean they played twice, like right in our area here. I got to actually, which I was surprised, I got to see both shows. Just a great band. Piss is a friggin' fantastic album, and The Clown. If you are afraid of clowns, this is like another version of the clown from It. From what's the name of that clown? Though?
Pennywise?
Pennywise. Yeah, it's like Pennywise's ugly brother. So there's our gems. I have the Farmer Coast album from 2014. Excellent heavy album. BC's rocking some Dangerous Toys. Pissed, great album. If you can check it out, definitely check those guys out. If you like the heavier stuff, it's not thrash or metal, but it's really hard rock. Just great. Jason McMaster is the vocalist in that band. Freaking excellent. And if you're in the mood for some great killer new thrash, listen to Killer Be Killed, Reluctant Hero, and it's Killer Be Killed. At first I thought it was Kill or Be Killed, but it's Killer Be Killed, and it's actually their second album.
Yep, second album.
They had an album out probably 2009 or something,
2011,
like 2011. So I mean they're and they're pretty much like a thrash metal supergroup. So if you're in the mood for some new thrash, definitely check that out. So all right, let's get back into the episode here and crack a beer because this one may take a little while. So I put a little thought into this because I've been thinking about doing this episode like early in this year, and I've just been kind of chipping away at it here and there. And I mean, it's something I could have threw together quick, but I mean, I especially after being on these cruises, I thought it would be a cool thing to do. So the only thing I had a problem with, and I want someone out there that's listening, and I'm sure anyone could, and even Dylan or BC, if you could think of a better name for this cruise, please throw it out there because I could not come up with a good name for this cruise. I like the Hard Rock Party Cruise, which is lame as fuck, but I just couldn't think of anything. I'm like, I couldn't name this goddamn cruise. It's freaking killing me. And one thing I'm going to say before I get into this, there's going to be no repeat set lists on this cruise. So whether you play a pre-party or you play on the boat, you can't do the same set list. So, I mean, of course, some bands, they'll have some similar songs, same songs in the sets, but you cannot do the same set list. And so there's going to be 2 days of pre-parties like we did with the Monsters of Rock cruise. But there's going to be a BYOB tailgate area in the parking lot for the pre-party. So if you're a designated driver, which if you pull in there, you need to have one. So that's going to be one of the criteria. So no one is driving home drunk. But if you are a designated driver, you get a free event shirt. And if you're a cruiser, and if you are a non-cruiser, and actually if you're on the cruise, it's going to be free for everybody. But if you're the DD for the cruise people, you get a free event shirt. And if you're just a person coming just to go to the pre-parties, and you're the designated driver, you get in for free, and everyone else pays $50, and the designated driver goes in free and gets a free event T-shirt. That's going to be a special T-shirt that has, I was a designated driver at this or something like this. It's going to be something crazy like that. So the first night is going to be, I'm going to have 5 bands each night. The first night's just going to be regular rock night. I have Heaven's Edge opening the show. Then I go into our great band from Europe, Eclipse. And then speaking of Europe is going to play next.
Wow.
And then the last 2 bands of the night, we're going to get a little heavier here. Our boys from Armored Saint are going to come out, and they're going to play a set. And then we're going to have the Metal God come out and with his Halford band and close the first night of the pre-party out. And he's going to do a mix of Priest and Halford and just rock the fuck out of the crowd. Now, night number 2 is going to be a special night. it's going to be album night. So every band that comes out is going to play an album of theirs in their entirety. Wow. So the first band is going to be Tora Tora. They're going to play their Surprise Attack album, their debut album. Brittany Fox is going to play next. They're going to play their self-titled debut, and they're going to get a little longer the sets as they go along. So like 35-minute album isn't going to cut it. So Brittany Fox, they're going to play their first album, and then they're going to play some songs from their other albums. Skid Row is going to come out next, and they're going to play their self-titled album and some hits afterwards, but no Sebastian Bach. Sorry, BC. Then Stryper is going to come out, and they're going to do the To Hell with the Devil album, and then they're going to play some hits along with it. And then for the finale of the pre-parties, we are going to have a reunion of the Damn Yankees.
Wow.
Yes.
So they're going to do the full first album, self-titled, and then they're going to do some Styx songs, some Ted, and some Night Ranger songs as well. So that's going to wrap up the 2 nights of pre-parties. So you're going to have the free BYOB tailgate area, and it's going to be right adjacent to the thing. So if you want to just listen to a band, you can go out and have a couple beers, party with your friends out there. If you want to get your grill out, whatever, and everybody's going to have a designated driver, everybody's going to get home safe. So then the cruise is going to leave the next day. Now, on the cruise, there's going to be most bands are going to play twice between the pre-party and the main thing. Some are going to play one, but I don't think any of them are going to play 3 shows that I could see when I went through this here. And there's going to be 3 main venues on the boat. There's going to be the pool deck, and then there's going to be like a medium-sized hall, and then there's going to be the big theater. So as every cruise leaves, it's going to leave like late afternoon. So there's going to be 3 bands playing in each venue on the first night, and they're going to be staggered so that you can catch them, or if you want to skip one, and everything's going to be simulcast throughout the ship when there's not another band playing. So the surprise sail away show is going to be David Lee Roth in the original David Lee Roth band, and they're going to play the full Eat 'Em and Smile album to kick off the cruise. I cannot personally think of a better way to kick off a cruise than doing that fucking album. Then Slaughter's going to come out next. This is just the pool deck now. And then Y&T is going to close out the pool deck for the night. In the hall, Faster Pussycat's going to open the night. They're used to closing the night off on a lot of these cruises, but they're going to open it up in the medium-sized venue. And then and by the way, I forgot to mention it, this is, day 1 is 80s day. So everything's from the 80s, so they can only play songs from the 80s. So in the medium-sized hall, you got Faster Pussycat, except even with Mark Taranello, they're only going to play stuff from like Restless and Wild, Balls to the Wall, Russian Roulette, so they're only going to play 80s stuff. And then Wasp is going to close out the night and play only stuff from their first 3 albums. And that's going to be in the medium hall. So now the theater stage, Danger is going to open up the show. Ted Poley is always a cool one to get the show going. And actually, I messed up because Heat's in there, but they're going to play anyways. So they have an 80s feel to them, but they're still going to play. And the wrap-up for the night is going to be an Eddie Van Halen tribute show. So you're going to get David Lee Roth come out and sing some songs. You're going to have, I'm going to spoil this band for later, but you're going to have Gary Sharon from Extreme on the boat as well. So you're going to get a bunch of shredders that you're going to see from some of these bands that I'm going to talk about later. They're going to do a full Van Halen set, all eras of Van Halen. Yes, BB, even something from Van Halen 3, since we do have Gary on the boat. So that's going to wrap up the first night of the cruise. And so day 2, I'm calling this the Masquerade Ball Day. So every band that plays on any stage is going to have some kind of costume or theme on them. There's going to be 5 bands playing each venue during this day. I'm opening the pool stage with Every Mother's Nightmare. Rick Rule and the boys are going to come out and play. XYZ is going to play next. Our buddy Terry, they're going to play. And then we're going to throw some metal in here. We're going to have the Iron Maidens come out and play a set on the pool deck. Sun, surf, beautiful women playing Iron Maiden. How could you go wrong? Our boys, LA Guns, and I'm going with the Phil Lewis and Tracy Guns version of LA Guns for this cruise. And our boys from Canada, from the UK, Thunder, they're going to close down the pool deck on the first night. fantastic band live. They were one of my favorites on the Monsters of Rock cruise last year. Just absolutely excellent. In the medium-sized venue, BC talked about these guys before. We'd seen them at M3, and Junkyard's going to open up that venue for the night. And I'm going to go with a little more European metal. My boys Wolf that I've talked about. Nice. They're going to bring out some scathing European metal for the second band coming out there. And then we're going to do a little swing there, and the Red Dragon Cartel is going to play a set. They're going to play Red Dragon Cartel stuff, some Ozzy stuff that Jake was in, like from Bark at the Moon and Ultimate Sin, and Badlands. They're going to play some Badlands stuff as well. Then our boys, Smooth Up in Ya, Bullet Boys are going to do a set next. And then this stage is going to close out with, I got to do it too, BC, my boy Robert Mason with Warrant. And I'm going to copy off of you, BC. They're not allowed to play any fucking ballads. I like that. I like that. The no ballad. It's going to be a Gen night for Warrant. No ballads. Then the main stage in the theater. Autograph's going to play. Then our another band that we thought was fucking fantastic on the Monsters Rock cruise this year from Canada, Honeymoon Suite. They're going to play a set here. And then I got to bring my boy Ronnie Atkins out. Pretty Maids. They're going to do a kick-ass fucking set. Absolutely fantastic band. Ronnie Atkins, he's battling lung cancer. We love you, buddy. We're praying for you. Hope you can get back out there on the road, and we hope we can see you on the Monsters of Rock cruise this year. And then I'm going to throw BC a bone here. I'm going to have Lizzie Borden play. They're going to come out. They're the perfect band for the Masquerade Ball. They're going to be the second to last band of the night. No blood though, BC. No blood. They're on the there's no ballads and no blood on this cruise. Okay. And then the end of the night. Yep, B&B. So I am going to throw Night Ranger up on the stage to close out the night of the second night. You can't go wrong with Night Ranger. Love those guys. Jack Blades is already on the boat because Dave Yankees is there, so he might as well bring the rest of the boys out from Night Ranger to play. Day number 3. This is going to be called Album Day. So on the pool stage, we're going to bring our friends from Japan over, Loudness. They're going to play the full Thunder in the East album. Then our friend Lita Ford, that is good friends with BB, he's got a photo credit in her last live album. Lita Ford's going to come out and play the Dancing on the Edge album. Then I got to throw this band for me, bucket list band Zebra. They are going to come out and play their self-titled album. And then Rat's going to sneak on board, and they're going to play the Out of the Cellar album. And I don't know what configuration it's going to be. Stephen Pierce is definitely going to be singing, but I'm not sure who else is going to be in the band at the time. And then I'm going to another band that BC talked about before, Queensryche. They're going to come out and they're going to play the full Empire album. So that's going to be the pool stage for day number 3, Album Day. We're going to go indoors now to the medium-sized venue. LA Guns is going to come back out. They're going to play the Cocked and Loaded album, which they actually just did as a live stream last week. I think you could still get it. I think it was like $11 or something like that, which is friggin' fantastic just to see them play that album live. Firehouse is going to come out, play their debut album in its entirety that we talked about with Zeus last week. Europe is going to play their second show of the cruise. They're going to play the Final Countdown album. And then, BC, I know you'll be happy with this because I would too. And Dylan, this one's for you too because Tesla's going to come out and play the Mechanical Resonance album. So Dylan's finally going to be able to get Coming At You Live, and it's not going to be acoustic.
It's about time.
So I had to throw my boy a bone here. And the theater stage for the evening. So you're going to have the Winery Dogs are going to come out and open the show. They're going to do their awesome debut self-titled album. And I'm going to throw my buddy Joe Casero a bone. Kix is going to come out, and they're going to play the full Midnight Dynamite album. And then Sonny Pooney is going to show up for this one. Y&T is going to come out and play the Mean Streak album. And then after that, Wasp is going to come out, and they're going to play their self-titled album, their debut album. And I'm like you, BC, like they're not going to close the show here. They're going to for this one. So, and Damn Yankees is going to come out, play their second set of the cruise, and they're going to play the Don't Tread album, plus some deeper tracks of Ted, Styx, and Night Ranger that are rocking songs. There's going to be, they're not going to play Babe from Styx for sure. So that's day number 3. So day number 4 is going to be the Heavy Hitters Day. I was going to call it Metal Day, but there's some bands that aren't, technically metal in my head. So it's going to be the Heavy Hitters Day. Pool stage, Here comes these guys. They got to rest for a couple months after playing like almost every fucking day on the cruise of BC's cruise. So Denman's going to come out and open up the pool deck on this one. And my boys Wolf, they're going to have a little outdoor show, give a little European metal to the masses at the pool deck. Loudness is going to play another set, just a mix of their stuff. And if you listen to Loudness, some of their like latter albums, 90s, 2000s, these guys are borderline thrash, heavy as fuck, but just so ripping. So just, if you guys have not check out albums like Metal Mad, just absolutely fantastic by those guys. And then BC, Lizzie Borden is going to come out and play a stripped down set. They're just going to rock. There's going to be no masks, no costume changes, no blood, none of that shit. They're just going to come out and fucking rock. So Lizzie Borden, he doesn't have to wear the 20-inch heels that he wears. He's just going to have some street shoes on. Just no costume changes. Just do a straight up rockin' set, which I think would be fucking awesome to see.
Okay.
And our boys Armored Saint are going to play their second set and just rock the fuck out of the pool deck and close the pool deck down for the night. So then we move indoors for the middle-sized venue. Iron Maidens are going to open up this set. They're going to do a totally different set, but they're going to do an epic Iron Maiden set. They're not going to do any song less than 6 minutes long. So they're going to do at least an hour and 10 minutes, and in your mind, just stick in whatever songs you want to see there. Red Dragon Cartel is going to play again. They're going to do a totally different set list of the Ozzy songs and the Badlands songs. Thunder's going to play again. They're going to do a totally new set. But then, here's the surprise. These guys are only playing one show on the boat. Twisted Sister's going to reunite for one show, and they're just going to rock the fuck out of the crowd. And then Queensryche is going to come out, and they're going to do a set with some of the newer stuff with Todd, and they're just going to rock out. So then we're going to move to the theater next. We are going to rock out to some Dio. We're going to have the Dio Disciples come on here. They're going to play songs from the first 4 albums. So you're going to have songs from Holy Diver, Last in Line, Sacred Heart, and Dream Evil. So it's going to be a great mix of the first 4 albums and just absolutely Dio fest. Dylan, no hologram. I'm sorry. It's just not going to fucking happen. Accept is going to come out. So they're going to do a mix of just the stuff that they've done with Mark Tornello. And if you guys have not, if you're an Accept fan and you have not checked out any stuff with Mark Tornello, check it out. It is absolutely fucking amazing. And Skid Row is going to come out and just do a blistering set. They're going to do a mix of a couple, maybe 1 or 2 songs from their first album, but they're going to do stuff from their United Rebellion albums. They're going to do stuff from Slave to the Grind. They're just going to put together just a kick-ass set that you would never think you would hear before. So then, here's a band for ya. Whitesnake is going to come out. How did I miss them? Oh, I did. Okay. Whitesnake is going to come out and do a great set. And then the Metal God is going to close out the Heavy Hitters Day, but Halford is only going to do a Judas Priest set. He's going to play the kick-ass Priest songs that you want to see, you want to hear, and he's going to do some incredible deep tracks as well. And I'm going to go back to the album day real quick because I don't know how the fuck I skipped them. Actually, I skipped them because I was talking about Tesla. The interior, the middle stage, Whitesnake is going to do the 1987 Whitesnake album in its entirety. So I totally sorry about that. I missed them on that, as I was so excited that Dylan was going to finally get to see Coming At You live, not acoustic. So that's what kind of threw me out track from that. So yeah, so Priest is going to do a kick-ass. Halford's going to do kick-ass. Just
a kick-ass Judas Priest set.
Thank you. See that? I'm so excited about it. I want to see this. I can't even talk about it. So the last day is going to be the rock and roll party day. So this is just going to be just party whatever you want to do. They're going to finish up the rest of the booze on the boat.
Is Kiss coming on to play the titular song?
They are not. They are not.
We're going to have ourselves a rock and roll
They are not. You may hear it in the hall once or twice, but you're not getting there. I don't think any. We're going to make sure bands are not allowed to play it. No ballads, no rock and roll night.
Well, it's a hidden track. You have to search through the ship to find it, and then you can listen to it.
Absolutely, for sure. Okay, so last day, pool deck. Ted Poley's going to come out, danger, danger. Get the crowd revved up. He is an excellent front man. Going to get the crowd rocking. XYZ is going to come back out. Terry and the boys are going to do another blistering set. Firehouse, they're going to mix it up from all the rest of their albums. Pretty Maids, they are going to come out. Ronnie Atkins is just going to him and Ken Hammer are just going to fucking bring it. But you can't close out a party on any stage without Kicks. Kicks is going to be the last band on the pool stage. They're going to close it down, rock it out. If you guys want to party, throw some fucking Kicks on. If you want to see a fantastic live band and one of the most underrated frontman out there, Steve Whiteman from Kicks, just absolutely check them out. These guys are fucking fantastic live. Middle stage, Honeymoon Suite's going to open it up. Then Slaughter's going to come on. And Lita Ford's going to come out next, and she's going to do a blistering set. And she's going to have a couple guests join her. I'm not going to tell you who, because you're going to have to go on the cruise to find out. And I'm even going to throw BB a bone on this one. All right, BB? Tesla's going to come out and do an acoustic set. But they're not going to do Coming At You Live. They're not gonna insult to him. Maybe they'll bust out and plug in for the last song and do that one as an encore for Dylan. So then for the closer, last night on the cruise, closer is going to be a just kick-ass fucking set from the Motor City Madman. Ted Nugent is going to play a set. He is not going to talk in between songs. He is not going to open his mouth unless it's to sing.
I was just going to ask, with or without Derek St. Holmes?
Derek St. Holmes can come on, absolutely. I like when he's on there. I mean, I think it gives a really good dynamic.
I think it's better with Derek St. Holmes than...
It is. And actually, when he played in the 80s, 86, when we saw him for the Little Miss Dangerous tour, Dave Amato, that is the guitar player in REO Speedwagon now, did the Derek St. Holmes stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So Ted's going to come out, play a blistering hour and a half, hour 45 minutes set. He's only going to say hello, thank you, and sing the songs. Other than that, he's not going to open his fucking mouth.
He's not going to scream, freedom!
Yeah, we're not going to have that. That's going to be part of the contract. There's no political stuff out of anybody's mouth on stage. And then the final night in the theater, I got to throw my boys Eclipse out there. They're going to open up the show in there, and they're just going to rock it out. They're another great band. They did a live stream, I'd say probably back in April or May, and it was fantastic. It was absolutely kick-ass. So they're definitely a band to check out. And their neighbors, Heat, they're going to do the next set. So they're going to keep the party going, a little European metal to start the evening out. Rat's going to come out next. They're going to do a kick-ass set. Warrant is going to be the second to last band, the penultimate band, if you will, on the boat. No ballads allowed. We're going to call that the BC rule. So, and on my cruise, there was a surprise opening band on the pool stage, which was David Lee Roth Band, original, doing Eat 'Em and Smile. Now, no one knew that anyone from this band was on the ship. So the final show that you're going to get on this ship is none other than my boy Slash, featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, is going to close out the whole fucking cruise with a kick-ass set. And they're even going to throw a couple Guns N' Roses tunes in there, which they haven't been really doing lately, which is totally fine with me. But they're going to throw the cruise people a bone, do a couple Guns N' Roses songs, but Slash and the boys are just going to come out and just kick ass. And if you guys ever get a chance to see Slash featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, I always have to say that because they deserve the recognition. Definitely do so. Right, BC? They were fucking kicked ass.
They were really good live.
Absolutely. So there's the bands that they're going to play. Now here's a couple things that are going to go on in the cruise. There's going to be.
How's there any time for that?
Huh?
How's there any time for the extra?
Dylan, this is like half the bands that played on the regular cruise, so there's plenty of time. There's going to be meet and greets and photos with all the bands. Pick who you want to go. And BC, this is important to me because remember how bad it sucked. The buffet is going to be open 24 hours a day. Because on the Monsters Rock cruise, it was closed. A couple were like, "What the fuck?" Like in between bands, you want to grab something to eat real quick, and you couldn't because the fucking buffet was closed. The buffet is open all the time. So is the bar service. Bars are open 24/7. There's going to be a Battle Shots competition like they did on the Kiss cruise, but Kix is going to host that. That'd be really cool with Steve Whiteman and those guys just like hosting that cool event. And there's going to be various artists playing acoustic shows in the lounges throughout the cruise. But There's going to be beer tastings and wine tastings with different bands. And just like on the Monsters of Rock cruise, there's going to be acoustic shows at the beginning. And while you're kind of having your breakfast or your morning coffee, so you're going to have, like, each day you're going to have someone different do an acoustic show on the pool deck. You're going to have Joel Holkstra the first day. You're going to have Frank Hannon from Tesla do one the second day. Tommy Shaw and Jack Blades is going to do one the third day. Randy Jackson from Zebra is going to do one on the fourth day. And on the last day, Nuno and Gary Sharon are going to do one on the last day. And our ports are going to be San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Grand Cayman Island. And, of course, when you stop, there's going to be the usual excursions, where they want to go snorkeling or whatever. So there's my cruise. What do you think, Del?
What about this for a name? The Deck of Decadence.
Ooh, I like that.
Because there sure is going to be a lot of decadence going on with the 24-hour bar. I like it a lot. There are a lot of really cool ideas that you have. I like the decade block. I like the albums segment as well. I think it's really interesting to have bands have to twist their set to fit a theme as well. It's almost like how the Kiss Cruise has themed nights for the people on the cruise. The bands themselves have themes that they have to fit. So I think that's a really cool idea that I would like to see implemented somewhere. Just have them like classic albums run, and like they all play one of their classic albums. Like that's a really cool idea. So that a lot of cool innovation that you have with this cruise for sure. A lot of similar bands too with BC and even at the Iron Maidens and Iron Maiden themselves. So it's cool that we all had simpatico cruises that had a little bit of elements from each of our stuff. So it was a really good job.
All right, what do you think, BC? Would you go on this cruise?
Oh God, yeah. The pre-party, going back to the pre-party, I like the tailgate area. The idea that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? I really like that. And I never thought about albums like the Dave Makeys. The pre-party did the first album. The David Lee Roth doing the Eat 'Em Smile. And then like standouts like Everybody's Nightmare. How can you go around with that? Some Wolf, Red Dragon Cartel, which is always a great band live. I have notes all over the place here. Lizzie Borden dressed down. I like that. And Twisted Sister surprise. And Ted Poley. How can you go around Ted Poley? And the shocker so far would be that you have Tesla do acoustic sessions.
I know. I got to
and
throw.
The standouts would be I like the 24-hour bar thing.
Yeah, I had to throw BB a bone though. Even though he usually has something on the show to torment me with, I figured I would throw him a bone. So yeah, it was cool. I was kind of thinking about this, for a while, and I thought it was kind of a cool concept to do because, we didn't have to listen to albums and playlists and all that kind of stuff. And it's nice to just do one of those things where you could just like jot ideas down and shit and just kind of put it into a cohesive list or a thought. And I thought it was fun. I really enjoyed doing this, and I would go on any of these cruises that we all talked about here tonight. Absolutely, for sure. And I kind of like I like the relaxed atmosphere of BC's, the kind of scaled down thing, and like Dylan's like a maiden cruise. I think that would be a tough one to get tickets for. I really do. I think it would be really tough to do it. All right, so there's our things. And guys out there, if someone could think of a cool name for my cruise, please let me know. Dylan's was cool. I like that. The Deck of Decadence, that was cool. So if you guys could think of if anyone else thinks of a cool name for the title of my cruise, I would be welcome. I would be welcome and delighted to hear it. So we'll go around one time and we'll say our goodbyes and wrap up. How about you, Dylan?
Yeah, this was a really fun little exercise. I was dreading it at first because I wasn't really sure how to go about it, but as I was starting to plan it, I was starting to come up with a lot of fun ideas that I was really enjoying connecting and putting together and coming up with the band list for it. So it was a really cool, different episode for us, and I think a bit of a different challenge from the festival one that we did, because there's a lot more things that you need to think about on a cruise. Like, whereas a festival, you can kind of just
have it and everybody goes home.
Yeah, you're stuck for a week or less on a boat. So you got to keep people occupied. You got to keep people entertained. So it's almost like a 24-hour fun factory. But it was a lot of fun, and everybody's cruise was really great. Like you said, I would go on all of them as well. So great job, everybody.
All right. How about you, BC?
No, it's another fun one. From when I started this, I changed total direction from my original cruise to like the more laid back. I thought, tone it down, expand it a little bit. But these are all cool. Like Dylan's, I love the maiden theme and all the ties, and that would be so cool. They're all good cruises. So not a bad cruise there.
Yeah, and Dylan, BC, good job on yours, and I can't wait to see the Spotify playlist that Dylan puts together for this. It'll be in the show notes, and Dylan always does a great job with the playlist. And it was, like I said, it was really cool doing this episode. It's like I said, it's nice to do one where you're not have to listen. It's not a lot of homework that you have to do for this one and listen to albums. But like for the most part, the stuff we do, there's very few that we really have to study and get into because we know and are very familiar with most of the stuff that we talk about, and we're gonna actually during next year have another episode come up where we're gonna do an episode of albums that we're not familiar with that is actually kind of fun, and then actually we're gonna probably do another one or two where we're gonna talk about albums that we hate. And they're always kind of fun to get a chance to shit on something that we don't like. But you know what? And when we do those, it's always interesting too because not everybody always hates the picks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I may totally hate an album, but it may be something that Dylan absolutely loves. And for instance, like last week's episode, we talked about the hair metal albums, and then Sonny and Steven, Grown Up Rock, they did it in an episode and shit on a couple of our picks, but it's all what you like, and I'm not saying that mean to them. I'm just saying it busting their ass. But it really goes to show how much people's music tastes are. I mean, Sonny's there. I mean, he's got some. It's not easy. It's not easy working with that guy sometimes. But we love those guys, so it's always a lot of fun. And the ball busting factor when you have something that someone really likes and someone hates. It makes it even more interesting, the back and forth about it. Because, those guys, our text group, everyone always busts ass about, Hell No Ween and Sax No and Richie Kotz No and, shit like that. We always just bust ass on stuff that guys like that other people don't like. So, it's always fun. So I want to thank everybody out there for listening. Interact with us on Facebook. Please, someone... recommend a name for my cruise. I need help. I like Dylan's though. Dylan's was cool.
I like Dylan.
Yeah, and so we'll be back again next week. I think it's going to be someone's birthday next week, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to be celebrating again. So hopefully we can maybe at some point all be back in the same room again. Which we're kind of doing our own social distancing here once again on the podcast. So hope everybody's staying safe out there. Do what you're supposed to do. Do your social distancing, wash your hands, wear your masks. Whether you believe in it or not, just don't be a dick about it. Just be cool. We're all in this together. I hate saying shit like that, but it's true. But it's hopefully because the quicker we do all this stuff, the quicker we're going to be back rocking together at concerts, and that's a main goal. Just to, I think the last concert I seen was in February. It's almost a year from now. So, hopefully we can get back to some semblance of normalcy, and I just hope that comes about very soon. So, everybody just take it easy, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We'll see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.